Hello, Internet. This is Spartan117. Now, it came to my attention recently that a streaming service called Paramount Plus made a television series based on my time during the war against the Covenant. Not only that, but a second season just finished airing. So, I figured that I'd give it a watch in order to give you all my honest opinions on the show, as well as how faithfully it tells my story. I'm about to watch the first season now. I'll be sure to let you know all my thoughts and feelings after I'm done. So, I'm not really sure where to even begin exactly. That was just terrible. I was pretty open to the show wanting to make some artistic liberties for the sake of drama and all, but literally none of this happened. Like, at all. I never worked with a team of Spartans called Silver Team. These people seem to have been created completely for the show, which just makes me wonder why they didn't just add the actual team of Spartans that I did serve with during this time. It can't have been for legal reasons, because I never even agreed to this show in the first place. Speaking of making up characters that never existed, there are a lot of those in this show, and the people that I did work with at the time have been almost completely changed. They wrote an entire subplot about this kid named Quan, a person that, just like Silver Team, never existed. Or if she did, then I definitely don't remember meeting her. And she definitely didn't do any of the stuff that she does in this show. But let me tell you, by far the worst fabrication this show has made to my story is the introduction of some woman named McKee or something like that. I have a lot of things to criticize about the very existence of her character, especially how she was used. For starters, the Covenant would never allow a human to join their religion. The entire reason we were even at war is because their religion said that we were their enemy or something. So why the hell do they have a human woman there? The reason why is because she can activate Forerunner technology. This is technically true. However, the show then made it so that only these blessed ones can activate them. When, if they asked anyone who knew about the Forerunners, the writers would know that all humans can do this. But for some reason, they just had to turn it into a contrived, chosen one story. And of course, they made me one of those blessed ones too. But that's all minuscule compared to how this show twists and manipulates my story to include this McKee character. The writers decided to completely make up this weird love story about me and this woman who, when I meet her, we were holding captive. So, this show tries to imply that I had sexual relations with a prisoner of war. Making up a story about me having a romantic partner is weird enough. Personally, I don't really feel much sexual attraction to other people to begin with. And I especially didn't back then, when I was only ever focused on winning the war. But the fact that the show implies that I committed a war crime and completely glosses over it is downright disgusting. If this show really wanted to have a character with some kind of sex appeal, then I am completely confused why they didn't just use my old comrade Avery Johnson. He banged many people during the war. So the fact that he isn't even in the show makes very little sense to me. By this point, I was getting very frustrated with the changes this show was making. But I was made downright angry when this show depicted me going AWOL. Never, in my entire time serving during the first Human Covenant War, did I go AWOL and disobey my orders. The way they portrayed me in this show as a whole borders on character assassination, in my opinion. The actor they got to play me not only doesn't sound like me, he doesn't even look like me. Which wouldn't be a big problem if they hadn't constantly showed his face, something I rarely do even to this day. Another big inaccuracy this show had is my armor. When I'm actually wearing it, which isn't often, I for some reason have my Mark 6 armor, when, in actuality, I was wearing Mark 5 armor at the time. I only even got my armor upgraded to Mark 6 in the first place, due to how badly damaged it was after everything I endured on Alpha Halo, something that hasn't even happened yet in the show. They also introduced this weird thing about a pellet thing in my ass that, when removed, apparently made me extremely irrational and unstable. I feel like it goes without saying that this did not happen in the actual events of my life. The show also had me attempt to kill Dr. Halsey. I would never attempt this, regardless of my difficult relationship with the woman due to what she did to me and the other Spartans. I would never attempt to kill a civilian. But anyways, the season ends with me and Silver Team landing on a planet and fighting the Covenant. However, The show then does this weird thing where Cortana takes over my body for some reason. Again, this did not happen to me at any point during the war. That McKee bitch dies, though, something I was very relieved to see. So, overall, I strongly dislike this show so far. Not only does it butcher the events of my story, nothing in Season 1 ever happened during the war. None of it. Aside from me receiving Cortana. That is the only thing that was somewhat accurate in the show. Now I'm going to check out Season 2 and see if it was able to improve in any way. Hopefully they listened to criticism and managed to course correct. Oh my God. This show is a genuine fucking abomination. I felt dirty just watching it. So, in the first episode, they reveal that McKee woman is still alive somehow. Then they had me go to a goddamn strip club. Then I go AWOL again. Then they had me present during the fall of Reach, something that I never witnessed. Instead, Reach was defended by other brave soldiers whose stories should have been told instead of making one up. Then they had this blind guy running around with a grenade launcher. It'd be bad enough if he had a Magnum or something, but a fucking grenade launcher? All it'd take is him aiming at a wall or something and he could have killed everyone around him. None of this shit happened, for God's sake. I wasn't even on that fucking planet at this point in time. Then they had these weird shaman people doing stuff with that Quan kid. They kept doing all this crap about psychic visions and stuff. You know, things that aren't real and never happened. Anyway, the Flood eventually got introduced at the wrong time, on the wrong planet. I don't really have too much to complain about with the Flood. Nothing amazing, but it was okay. The show then tries to continue that awful love story with me and McKee, and by that point I had completely checked out. The season ended with me killing an arbiter that had been present during the whole season. I just didn't mention him until now because his storyline went absolutely nowhere and was a complete waste of a potentially interesting character. I hate this show so goddamn much. I'll be sure to let you know how much I despise Season 3 whenever it comes out. But until then, cancel your subscription to Paramount Plus. Goodbye.